What if I told you that this single moment right here today holds the potential to redefine financial history? What if a currency once dismissed as rumor and internet speculation has now stepped forward as a legitimate force in global finance? Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News. Today, the financial world is witnessing what may be the most significant shockwave in decades. The Iraqi Dinar QD has just appeared live on Bloomberg and Reuters terminals. That's correct. After years of debate, anticipation, and skepticism, the dinar is now trading alongside the dollar, the euro, and the yen. Will this mark a triumphant return or a cautionary tale? Stay with us, because by the end of this report, what you learn may reshape everything you believed about currency, investment, and economic legacy. It's early morning across the world, and from London to New York to Dubai, trading floors are in disbelief. Screens flicker. Analysts stare. Could that really be IQD among the live currency listings? The answer is yes. For years, the Iraqi dinar existed mostly in the realm of speculative talk and online forums. But today, it's no longer a theory. Its value is being quoted in real time across global terminals. Algorithms are recalibrating, institutions are reacting, and retail traders are rushing to respond. A once dismissed currency has become an active player in the global foreign exchange market. For longtime holders of the dinar, this is a moment of validation. For others, it's a wake-up call that the balance of monetary influence may be shifting. Let's take a step back. For decades, speculation surrounding a possible revaluation of the Iraqi dinar has circulated among investors and enthusiasts. Many called it a myth, a scam, or a fantasy. Economists avoided the subject altogether, yet a small group of believers held on to their notes, certain that one day this moment would arrive. Today, those same notes are no longer mere keepsakes. They represent tangible financial instruments. The IQD's presence on Bloomberg and Reuters confirms a reality that was once only imagined. Market infrastructure pricing, liquidity, and execution is now visible. Analysts who once dismissed the idea are scrambling to understand how this transition became possible. Make no mistake, this development did not happen overnight. The listing of the IQD on major financial terminals signals a coordinated effort among institutions, regulators, and possibly central banks. Such an event requires extensive groundwork, liquidity preparation, clearing arrangements, compliance protocols, and settlement pathways. The fact that the IQD is now displayed live means that global systems have aligned behind the scenes. Technical integration and financial approval processes would have been tested and verified, signaling a level of institutional confidence that cannot be ignored. The immediate implications for global currency markets are substantial. Within seconds of the listing, billions in trading volume began adjusting. Currency desks across the world are recalculating risk exposure, and automated trading models are incorporating IQD data for the first time. Order books are forming, volatility is spiking, and liquidity is being tested. The early hours of this transition are marked by turbulent, sharp fluctuations as the market seeks equilibrium. Traders face both opportunity and danger, navigating between potential windfalls and devastating losses. Strategy, discipline, and risk management are the only safe guides through this volatile debut. For longtime dinar holders, this development carries deep personal meaning. What was once viewed as a speculative gamble may now represent real, measurable value. Years of doubt and ridicule have given way to cautious optimism. However, this moment does not guarantee instant wealth. Converting physical notes into tradable assets involves fees, logistics, and regulations. The emotional victory is clear, but practical realities remain complex. Still, for many investors, today is the first tangible sign that their patience may finally have purpose. Financial analysts around the world are labeling this a watershed event. If the IQD can stabilize and maintain liquidity, Iraq could gain new access to international financing and trade. It could issue debt in its own currency and attract foreign capital on stronger terms. Yet critical questions remain. Will liquidity hold? Will central banks accept the dinar into their reserves? Can it sustain open convertibility? These uncertainties will determine whether this launch represents lasting reform or a fleeting anomaly. Beyond economics, this is a geopolitical statement. A national currency is more than a medium of exchange. It is a declaration of sovereignty and confidence. By bringing the dinar onto global platforms, Iraq is signaling that it intends to be a participant in, not an observer of, global finance. This decision redefines how international partners, investors, and policymakers view the nation. Risk models will be rewritten, trade relationships reassessed, and political narratives reconsidered. This is not merely a financial update, it's a strategic realignment. Still, risks abound. Volatility will remain high in the coming days. Markets are allergic to uncertainty, and early technical or liquidity issues could trigger rapid swings. Retail traders rushing in without preparation may face severe losses. Even institutional players will tread carefully, hedging exposure and testing depth before committing capital. In this environment, patience and observation are as valuable as capital itself. This is a moment for disciplined strategy, not impulsive speculation. For those considering what to do next, caution should be the first response. Don't rush. Learn how your local banks and exchanges will process IQD transactions. Confirm conversion routes, understand fees, and verify timing delays. Diversify entry points instead of going all-in. Seek professional financial guidance if possible. And above all, recognize that new markets are inherently unstable. Early turbulence is inevitable before structure emerges. Stepping back, the implications for global foreign exchange are profound. The landscape long dominated by the dollar, euro, and yen has been subtly disrupted. Iraq's inclusion signals the potential for other emerging economies to reclaim presence on the world stage. It suggests that the barriers to reintroduction are not permanent. The notion that dormant currencies can re-enter global trade has become tangible, and that alone will influence investor sentiment across developing markets for years to come. If the IQD can sustain credibility over time, Iraq could transform its financial independence. The government could issue sovereign debt in dinars, settle trade in its own currency, and reduce reliance on foreign denominations. That level of monetary sovereignty would mark a historic evolution for Iraq's economy. But such progress demands more than a headline. It requires years of fiscal stability, institutional transparency, and policy discipline. Today's milestone is only the beginning. The global response will vary. Some central banks will watch cautiously from the sidelines. Regulatory agencies will need to define compliance structures, while banks assess counterparty and liquidity risks. The integration of IQD into international payment systems will determine how far this development can go. The infrastructure decisions made in the coming months will shape the dinar's long-term trajectory far more than market enthusiasm. Narrative also plays a powerful role. For years, critics labeled the dinar investment community as misguided. Today's events force a reevaluation. Financial commentators who once dismissed the currency outright must now address a new reality. Yet narrative alone cannot sustain value. Only consistent economic fundamentals can. Iraq's fiscal management, export growth, and institutional credibility will ultimately decide whether this moment becomes history or a headline. Mechanically, questions remain about how IQD transactions will function in practice. Which trading platforms are providing liquidity? Who are the market makers? How are spreads behaving in early trading hours? Investors should expect irregularities, wide spreads, low depth, and technical errors. Execution risk is high, and real-time transparency will be crucial. Understanding the operational mechanics behind the market is as important as tracking the price itself. For observers inside and outside Iraq, vigilance is essential. Social media will be flooded with unverified claims and exaggerated promises. As excitement builds, misinformation will thrive. The responsible course is to focus on verifiable, data-official exchange announcements, trading volume reports, and institutional commentary. Emotional trading or rumor-based decisions could prove disastrous. In financial history, those who remain grounded in fundamentals always endure the longest. One truth cannot be ignored. The Iraqi dinar is no longer a side note. It is now part of the active global conversation. Analysts, hedge funds, and institutions will all be watching. Some will engage early, some will stay cautious, and others will look for arbitrage opportunities. Each participant must decide their own stance, whether to act, observe, or abstain. What's certain is that inaction without awareness now carries its own risk. This event is not an endpoint, it's a transformation. What was speculation is now quantifiable. The Iraqi dinar has entered the world stage with measurable presence. It's being tracked by global systems, analyzed by professionals, and tested by markets. The journey ahead will be volatile, but the potential impact is undeniable. For investors and observers alike, the key will be patience, education, and strategic foresight. So what should you do next? First, pause. Absorb the magnitude of this change. Study the data, review official channels, and stay alert for regulatory updates. Make informed decisions, not emotional ones. Hedge your exposure, diversify your strategy, and respect the risks that come with new market territory. Today marks the beginning of a long journey. The dinar can hold steady and earn global trust. This may not just be a market event. It could be the dawn of a new chapter in international finance. Thank you for watching Iraqi Dinar News. Stay informed, stay cautious, and keep your eyes on what could become one of the most defining stories in modern currency history.